With Destiny 1's demise close at hand, I decided to make a top 10 special weapons list since this will never change because Destiny 1 is never going to be adjusted again, so this list is pretty much final and will show the true tier list of all special weapons. This is a long video, so please grab some popcorn, some drinks, add it to your watch later playlist. It's going to be a long one, so watch at your own leisure. You don't have to watch it all in one sitting. I do go in depth with a lot of information about gun rolls and optimal perk sets and things like that, but you take in what you want, leave what you don't. Enjoy the video. Let's start this countdown. So you're probably wondering how a low impact snipe made it on this list. Well, that's because it has the fastest 2-tap to the body potential out of any sniper rifle in this entire game.
That's nasty.
Remember, this is a top 10 special weapons countdown, not a top 10 ways to play honorably. Forget going for the head when you could just 2-tap them faster than a last word could 2-tap before it was nerfed. Yeah, this is an old game. You can obtain this sniper rifle from the sniper bounties given by the Crucible Quartermaster. Other sniper rifles in this archetype include the Izumi RR4 and Omolon test rifle, both given by the gunsmith, the Bitter Edge, which is given by Dead Orbit, and then there's a few blues here and there that have the same rate of fire impact of 40-13. Now, in year 1 you could obtain the Prudence 2, which to this day still stands as one of the best sniper rifles in the entire game, and the Eye of Soul from Trials of Osiris, which was alright. The reason that I chose the Weyloran's March to represent this category of snipers is because of the perk combinations and scopes. Unfortunately, the Izumi does have better perk combinations, but the scopes are just atrocious and nasty. Maybe you like them, but that's for you to decide. It's also worth mentioning that the Izumi can get Replenish. With the Izumi, whatever you want to pronounce it as, you can get Replenish, you can get Clown Cartridge, you can get Casket Mag, and you can get Performance Bonus. All these are possible perks, and they work synergistically to make it to seem like you always somehow have ammo in a specialist world of Destiny. No more special snowflakes. If you're the kind of person who likes to run Universe or Remote with the sniper, the Uzume can also get Battle Runner, which makes it so that you can shotgun somebody, get a snipe kill, then you have Battle Runner, which leads to an easier shotgun kill because you move faster. The Bitter Edge is also worth mentioning because it can roll Take a Knee. Now, I'm a very strong advocate for the Take a Knee perk, but the Weyloran's March just edges the Bitter Edge out in a couple of specific stats, pun intended, like Aim Assist. So let's talk about recommended perks. For Weyloran's March, in the first slot, you want Life Support, Grenadier, Last Resort, or Army of One. I don't really care for much of the other options. In the middle tree, that's perk slot 2, you want Quick Draw in the first node, Explosive Rounds in the first node, Injection Mold in the second node, and Casket Mag in the third node. For perk slot 3, it's the right tree. You want Unflinching, Hidden Hand, or Mulligan. And that's about all I have to say on the Weyloran's March. So, sorry to crash the party if you wanted to hear more. Wait, I think that's foreshadowing.
Coincidence? I think not!
In the number 9 slot, we have the Party Crasher +1. You can obtain this weapon through shotgun bounties offered at the Crucible Quartermaster or from end-of-game rewards from any Year 3 PvP except for Trials of Osiris. I think that goes without saying. While there are plenty of other shotguns to use, the Party Crasher beats them on statistics and perk rolls. For instance, This is one of the few shotguns that can reach max range with aggressive ballistics. I'll explain this more in depth when I go over the perks right now. As you can see by the text on screen, the recommended barrel mod is aggressive ballistics because it improves the impact but slightly drops the range. But this can be compensated for perk slot 2. Rifle barrel and reinforced barrel push the range to max. It caps out. The recommended perks in perk slot 1 are close and personal. This improves your melee damage by 25% after you do any sort of damage with the shotgun. Now keep in mind, this doesn't work with Stormcaller melee or throwing knives, or smoke grenades from the Night Stalker. It does work with pretty much everything else though, and any uncharged melee. So if you just stab them with the Night Stalker knife, not the smoke grenade, improve damage. Same thing goes for Gunslinger, same thing goes for Stormcaller. It just can't be the ability melee. In the most recent string of nerfs in the shotgun, in-air accuracy was affected, so this makes full auto a tier 1 perk, because you can shoot faster, you take more shots quicker. In words of that variety, you miss every shot you don't take, but full auto lets you take a lot of shots very quickly. It improves the fire rate drastically. That's all I'm trying to get across. Rangefinder I have a love-hate relationship with, because in the most recent nerfs, it aims in slightly slower, and it doesn't seem to make that big of a difference anymore. But it still is a great perk when it works. You'll be wondering, how the heck did I kill that person from this far away? Crowd control is in a similar note. You get a kill, 15% damage boost, and then you map somebody. Finally, Battle Runner is just like, the rest of the shotgun's perfect, but at least I got Battle Runner. If you're gonna use Battle Runner, just use the Rage shotgun from Wrath of the Machine. Almost said Rage Against the Machine. In perk slot 2, you want Rifle to reinforce barrel to push the range to cap, and in perk slot 3, you don't want any other perk except for Replenish. Because if you use your super, you get ammo, and it's one of the few shotguns that's even possible to roll. Replenish is best paired with a Night Stalker tether, a Defender bubble, or self-res, because you can pretty much act immediately after using your super. And that's all she wrote on the Party Crasher, so I guess I'll continue on the countdown, I promise. Your puns suck.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Why, thanks for asking. I found the Dreg's Promise and Challenge of the Elders. You just complete it, and occasionally you get lucky, and then you'll get a Dreg's Promise. Otherwise, you're stuck with the Year 1 version from pretty much doing the exact same thing. I already know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't Dreg's Promise just a troll gun? Isn't it terrible? No. Everything else got nerfed, Dreg's got slightly buffed, and now it's godly. It goes without saying, the Dreg's Promise is an exotic, so every roll you see on him is exactly the same. You can choose between soft ballistics or aggressive ballistics. I don't really recommend the middle ballistics, I forget what it's called. If you happen to land 2 bursts to the head with aggressive ballistics, it is a kill, so I recommend aggressive. Field Scout doesn't do too much these days, Snapshot doesn't do too much when you could just improve the stability instead, and Hipfire. In perk slot 1, you'll find Grave Robber. As soon as this image disappears, you'll see that perk activating, and in perk slot 3, you have the Dreg's Promise perk, which is Ricochet homing rounds. They're very good. Let's just leave it at that. Alright, watch carefully. Grave Robber's about to activate. Look, I suddenly got 18 bullets in the magazine. And it reloads like a space pistol. It's no surprise that a sidearm made it onto this top 10, but what makes Dreg's Promise special is you don't even have to aim it. You just jump up in the air and fire in their general direction, and you get a kill. It's so much easier to use than, say, the Trespasser. Obviously, there's one sidearm in particular that may edge out the Dreg's Promise, but I'll save that for later in the video. I'm foreshadowing. However, the next gun on the list may just be the best though.
We're gonna blow it up!
In the number 7 slot, we have Telesto, the Besto, the Molesto. I mean, you can pretty much think of any word and add O to it, and it's a Telesto pun. If you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you'd probably know that Telesto is my favorite gun in the game, mostly because you can damage people by just predicting them a second ahead. Meanwhile, your Guardian should be safe and sound in cover, just shoot Telesto at your feet and let the shotgun apes come run in and get Telesto'd to death. Rather than continuing to beat a dead horse with this Telesto review, I'm just going to link a snippet of my previous Ultimate Telesto review, and then you can decide yourself if you've heard enough, or if you want to see the whole video, or if you want to watch it again, maybe. You're probably wondering what I run on Telesto. I use Smart Drift Control over CQB or Smooth Ballistics, because range doesn't make that big of a difference, but spread pattern does. On other fusion rifles, I value range a lot, but because the bolt speed of Telesto doesn't really matter, go for stability. Now Battle Runner, that's a pretty cool perk. If you get a kill with Telesto, then Battle Runner triggers, which lets you sprint while walking. Keep in mind that it only keeps this speed if you're moving forward. Otherwise, it doesn't. So pair it with a nice primary, and you can just walk at people and shoot them at sprint speed. The middle tree is pretty self-explanatory. If you like the Titan Skate, put on Enhanced Battery. If you don't, put on Agility. This last perk that I don't really know how to pronounce, it makes a baby orb of light, so it doesn't really add to much. But Unplanned Reprieve, that's the Telesto perk. Similar to the Needler in Halo. You know, really the key point that I want to make about Telesto is that Telesto is only as strong as your primary shot, because you shoot Telesto, you switch to your primary, and then you do more damage. Maybe you even get a primary kill, which then primes reactive reload. Hence why I like using the Wrath of the Machine raid hand cannon and the Whale Future War Cult vendor hand cannon, because you can get quick draw on it, as well as luck in the chamber or reactive reload. But enough talk about primaries. I mean, who uses those things? This is Special Weapon Countdown, so I guess let's continue with the list.
Yes!
In the number 6 spot, we have the Chaperone, the fun police weapon of choice. Notice the no backup plans in the background. If for even a second you're having doubts about this weapon's capabilities and whether or not it deserves to be number 6 on a list of top 10 special weapons, then I highly recommend you go check out Destiny Fun Police YouTube channel. You'll probably see a Chaperone being used, and being used quite well, but I digress. I mean, getting this weapon is kind of a pain in the ass now because it's a quest given by Amanda Holiday where you have to get last word kills in the Crucible, and we all know how terrible the last word is, at least now. It's definitely a shadow of its former self. As far as what to run on the Chaperone, we have a couple options when it comes to barrels. I prefer linear over accurized and field choke just because it keeps it in a line, hence the name. The Roadborne perk activates from a precision kill of any weapon and grants bonus handling, rate of fire, and damage to the Chaperone. I'll reiterate. The Roadborne perk activates on any precision kill. This can be with the primary, a throwing knife, even the Chaperone itself. It's an all-around buff to the gun. In the middle tree, I used to go single point sling because I like switching stuff faster, but snapshot really makes a difference since the most recent shotgun nerfs. Third perk rarely comes into play unless you're godly or just lucky, but 3 rapid precision kills while Born on the Road is active will return 2 rounds to the chamber. I've only done this once or twice if I remember. I'll play the clip on screen. My closing remarks for this gun are simple. If more special ammo existed in the Crucible, this would be hands down the best shotgun in the game, but unfortunately, ammo really matters now in the special economy. If lack of special ammunition is something you like in the Crucible, then fret not. Legend says there is a new destiny over the horizon.
Boom! Headshot!
that? It was on him! Well, there goes my chances of getting into phase. In the number 5 slot, we have the Event Horizon, the High Impact Sniper, the legendary sniper, so that you can equip a primary exotic or a heavy exotic if you so choose. You can obtain this gun at the Crucible Quartermaster, and it changes its role every single week, so if you don't see a role that you like, then you just wait a week and see if it's better. If you're feeling lucky, you can get this gun from sniper rifle bounties from the Crucible Quartermaster or from rank up packages from Lord Shaxx. The reason that this particular sniper rifle scores a little bit higher than the Irene in my opinion is because of the ability to use the scope that I like and the fact that the overall statistics are slightly better, even though the Irene does have a more desirable perk set. What perks would you want to run on Event Horizon, however? I'm glad you asked. In perk slot 1, you want Grenadier, Life Support, or Mulligan. The rest of them are okay. Oh my god, you hear that lightning and thunder behind me? I mean, I don't really know how you hear lightning, but obviously please excuse any audio feedback you hear in the next couple minutes. In perk slot 2, we want Quick Draw or Snapshot, and these are both easy to get because they don't roll in the exact same slot. These year 3 weapons are kind of interesting in that regard. And for perk slot 3, you want literally anything you can get there. There's Unflinching, Hidden Hand, Take a Knee, and Firefly. Firefly is actually fantastic on this archetype of almost at hand cannon sniper rifle because it's high impact, meaning if you hit a Firefly shot, it does more damage to the people beside it, making it more likely that you can body shot clean up anyone who's beside them. The obvious question some of you are thinking right now is, why use this sniper over Icebreaker? That's because you can use Meet a Multi-Tool, The Last Word, Bad Juju, any exotic primary you want with this, even Universal Remote if you have the ammo to spare. So what I do very sneakily is I have a weapon ready to equip that's exotic, put away Icebreaker, pick up the special ammo crate that my teammates are near, and then enjoy it until I die. As soon as I die, I immediately switch back to Icebreaker, and voila, I have ammo. One thing to note before I move on to the next weapon is that with Weapons of Light, that's the Defender Bubble skill, even with the 25% boost, not illuminated for 35%, you can still body shot people as long as you pass through your bubble. And that's all she wrote. In the number 4 spot, we have the Matador 64. This thing used to be the bane of the Crucible, and then special ammo was adjusted, and then it was really inaccurate from the air, as you could see from that previous clip, and they made it slower to aim down sights with rangefinder. But all those nerfs aside, this thing still rips. If you're having any doubts about the Matador and whether or not it's really truly effective, I recommend taking a look at my friend's channel, More Velocity, because he's probably the best shade stepper in the West. He makes this shotgun and Night Stalker look so fast, faster than a Titan, faster than a barefoot jackrabbit on a hot greasy griddle in the middle of August. You get the picture. Although I truly believe that Chaperone is a better shotgun, this does not require headshots to unlock the full potential of the Matador. And it's also easier to use, hence why it gets a higher score on this top 10 countdown. Otherwise, of course, Telesto would be number 1 because I think it's the best gun in the game, but a lot of people would disagree with me. I really doubt people are going to disagree with me on the Matador though. Since the Matador is a legendary shotgun, that means you can equip an exotic primary or perhaps an exotic heavy like Boltcaster. You can obtain the Matador 64 from end-of-game Year 3 rewards, not including Trials of Osiris, or the shotgun bounty offered by the Crucible Quartermaster. The recommended perks on this shotgun are very straightforward. For the barrel mod, you want aggressive ballistics because it improves the impact, and rifle to reinforced barrel in perk slot 2 because it maxes the range while retaining that max impact. In perk slot 1, you want full auto because it drastically improves the fire rate of the shotgun, or if you're not a fan of that, performance bonus is also pretty good to combat the special ammo changes. In perk slot 3, you want anything except for final round. Crowd control is probably my favorite. Rangefinder and close and personal, though, are also worthy contenders. In order to explain why the next weapon on this countdown deserves its rightful spot, I have to explain why the Matador has some shortcomings in recent light of nerfs. For one, the shotgun overall is just a little bit more inconsistent. From the air, it is extremely inconsistent to the point where even if you stuff their chest with the barrel and jump even a 1/4 millimeter off the ground, it still can miss. Combine this with the handling changes and the fact that the Matador cannot roll replenish or knee pads anymore, and you're suddenly wondering, why am I using a shotgun in my special category anyway? Hopefully this short discussion sheds some light on why the number 3 spot is... Alright, keyboard warriors, this is not a drill. I'm totally serious when I say that Saladin's Vigil is better than pretty much any special weapon out there, hence why it's rank 3. You can already guess what's rank 1 and 2, but we'll get to that when we get to that. The point is, I'm talking about Saladin's Vigil, the king of the Voops. With shotguns being so inconsistent lately, fusion rifles just take the cake when it comes to a special weapon. Even at appropriate shotgun distance, it still sometimes takes 2 or 3 shots to kill him, and in that time I always ask myself, could I have just charged up a fusion rifle and got a guaranteed kill? And the answer, majority of the time, is yes. You can obtain this weapon by doing Archon's Forge in the Rise of Iron Cosmodrome. If you don't know what that is, just search how to get Saladin's Vigil and I'm sure that'll come up. While it is easy to get a desirable roll on the Saladin's Vigil, it is not easy to get the Saladin's Vigil. It takes a lot of attempts, and I've heard of people having terrible RNG with hundreds and hundreds of Archon's Forge completions. You might have noticed that I put Darkblade Spite in the title card, and that's not a joke either. Darkblade Spite is better than Saladin's Vigil, you just have to get the right roll. And getting a Darkblade Spite is kind of a pain in the ass, because you have to kill the Darkblade on that strike repeatedly and use skeleton keys to open up the chest. And then after that, you have to first get a Darkblade Spite, which is a 50% chance of the helmet, or a Darkblade Spite, and then it also has to have a decent roll. Since special ammo is so scarce in this meta, knee pads is a tier 1 perk, and you can only get that on Darkblade Spite, you cannot get that on Saladin's Vigil. The reasoning behind this is because if you don't have special ammo, knee pad still works and extends your slide. Also, it helps using fusion rifles. If you can start your charge up from further around the corner, then there's less of you exposed when you actually turn the corner sliding to shoot the Saladin's Vigil / Darkblade Spite. So how do you get knee pads on Saladin's Vigil? You just play Blade Dancer and use that perk. But if you're not playing Blade Dancer, then you want to pick up a Darkblade Spite. My recommended roll is the box scope, red dot OSR1, in perk slot 1, knee pads of course, I've already talked a lot about this. In perk slot 2, you want rifled barrel first, quick draw if you can't get it, and braced if you have a solid perk slot 3, which in this case would be rangefinder or replenish. Now replenished and braced don't exactly synergize because brace hurts the magazine, but it still works. It's still better than a Saladin's Vigil if you get it with knee pads. Like I said earlier, it is very easy to get a Saladin's Vigil that just makes sense and is a good gun. The barrel mod, you always want to go linear compensator because it keeps the spread nice and in a line. Goes without saying. In perk slot 1, you want rifled barrel or small bore. Keep in mind, small bore actually adds inventory to this, so you get 1 extra bullet per special ammo crate. It's definitely worth mentioning. Brace frame, same thing as Darkblade Spite, it drops the mag, but don't worry about it too much unless you're using replenish. In perk slot 3, you want quick draw, or enhanced battery if you're going for replenish. In perk slot 3, you want rangefinder, but you can also get replenish on the top node, so you can actually have both rangefinder and replenish, you just can't run them at the same time. So what I recommend doing is to use rangefinder until you have a super, and then when you have a super, switch to replenish. If you're the kind of person who doesn't use a fusion rifle very often, then consider using Saladin's Vigil or Darkblade Spite as just an intro fusion. You know, something to break the ice. Oh god.
You suck, you jackass!
Okay, admit it, you knew this one was coming. Like, everybody knew this when they clicked on the video. They already knew what the top 2 guns were, so cat's out of the bag. I'll just go through like the general nonsense and then I'll rant on this gun. So you can obtain this weapon from a Nightfall reward bounty from Commander Zavala. Just pick it up, kill the guy, the Nightfall boss, whatever it is. And then if you're lucky, then and only then can you compete in the Crucible because everybody wants to run an Icebreaker. The holy grail of Icebreaker perks is the No Backpack, which regenerates ammo, and this very ironic name, No Backpack, because I certainly have a backpack on anytime I put on this weapon because I have to carry the whole team, and still somehow manage to lose by a few kills despite having more kills than pretty much everybody in the lobby combined, but I digress. You see what I run there, literally don't change it, and you'll be perfectly fine. It's also worth mentioning you can make yourself less visible by getting a camouflage ornament. Even if this was a garbage sniper that regenerated ammo, it would still be top tier for the fact that you have ammo. But Attack Sys Scope, which is 6x zoom, on top of having crazy aim assist, great hip fire it seems, a Firefly perk that activates on body shot kills, not even headshots, body shot Firefly, meaning if you kill somebody with Icebreaker and someone else is standing next to them, then the person next to them is able to be body shot by Icebreaker, thus continuing the chain. It's also a very high impact snipe, not the most high impact that goes to the event horizon, but very high impact, enough to at least kill without illuminated weapons of light in a bubble to the body. Maybe I could have said that better. Basically, if you throw up a bubble, you can kill everybody outside of max armor titans and ram wearing warlocks, unless you run illuminated. If you run illuminated, then you can pretty much kill everybody to the body with Icebreaker shots, and you never have to worry about ammo. The only negative I can think of for this gun is the fact that when you're revived in a revive game mode like Trials of Osiris, you don't initially spawn with ammo. You have to wait 6 seconds for a bullet, which is why the gun that got the #1 spot got the #1 spot. I'm positive you know exactly what special weapon I'm talking about when I talk about the #1 spot. So what is it?
Vem que eu vou te tacar o peru. Ah, eu vou dosar. Vem que eu vou te tacar o peru. Ah, eu vou dosar. Vem que eu vou te tacar o peru. Ah, eu vou dosar. Vem que eu vou te tacar o peru. 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 Vem que eu vou te
What? How? Well, better not waste this drop. Yeah, I think I played enough Destiny today. I'm done. In the number 1 spot, we have the Wormwood / Ironwreath. You can get the Wormwood from the future War Cult vendor. Pretty much any roll you get on it's good, so I'm not even going to bother talking about those as much. The Ironwreath you can only get from sidearm bounties given by the Crucible Quartermaster, and it is a superior gun for the fact that it can get 15 bullets in the magazine instead of the Wormwood's 12, in addition to also getting casket mag to bump it up to 18. The third gun worth mentioning is the Jabberhocky, which you can still get from the Cryptarch. I think you have to give them special weapon engrams or buy them, but I've seen it drop. Pretty much what you're looking for on a sidearm is anything that bumps the range. I'm not sure if all 3 perks on the gun actually stack. I'm pretty sure Dado or somebody back then did the testing, but pretty much just run anything on a sidearm. If you can get Battle Runner on your Ironwreath, you'll be good. If you can get Casket Mag on them, you'll be good. They dominate the Crucible. No one's going to argue with me on this. Sidearms are the best. They kill faster than pretty much every primary out there, even with body shots. I have other videos on it. I'll be sure to put them in the description so you can look at them. I've done all the testing. Trust me, sidearms be too strong. The best part about running a sidearm is the fact that you can run Universal Mode or in No Land with it and always have special ammo. This is especially good in Trials of Osiris, because if you die and you spawn up, you still have ammo in both your snipe / shotgun in the form of No Land Beyond or Universal Remote, and you still have ammo in your sidearm, which is your pseudo primary. Well, my friends, it's been about 30 minutes. Thank you so much for watching this video. You are the best. Give it a nice rating if you enjoyed it, give it a terrible rating if you didn't, and be sure to share it with your friends because we don't have that much time in Destiny 1 left. Might as well let your friends enjoy knowing what's decent and giving them some new things to try. When your guns don't work like they used to before, and I can't help but blame Bungie. Yeah, you should probably subscribe to this channel and I'll stop the singing. It's for the benefit of everybody. Just do it!